We are now in 2026, and I'm excited to get back into doing videos, and I'm gonna do videos that I've been wanting to do last year, but just never got around to them. But I still really want to talk about the things from the year that I really liked in a video. So I thought instead, you know, I'm just gonna do like a top 10 list like a lot of other people do, but it's gonna be a top 10 list for 3 very specific things. I'm gonna talk about my top 10 action figures of the year because I've gotten much more into action figure collecting over the past few years, my top 10 TV shows from the year, and my top 10 movies of the year, that year being 2025, last year. And I just want this to be like a chill, casual video, and I'm aware that I already shared my favorite action figures and movies of 2025 on my Instagram. If you follow me there, you've probably already seen it, but I thought it'd still be fun to do it regardless in a video to go into a bit more detail why they are my favorites of the year. Let's start with top 10 action figures of 2025. At number 10, we have the NECA Raphael from the 2012 Ninja Turtles line. I did a video on these, on all 4 of the turtles, so you could go watch that if you want a more in-depth talk about the figure itself and the other ones. I'll just say that I think it does a good job at capturing the look of the 2012 series. I absolutely love it, and this is the one that I had the least amount of problems with. It's like definitely the best quality out of the 4. Looking at it, it just takes me back to when I watched that show as a kid and fell in love with the Ninja Turtles and just wanting to like have all the toys of those, even though I did not get most of the toys from that series from Playmates. And yeah, I'm just so happy that it's as good as it is. And if I'm being honest, I think the more I play with them, the more I kind of feel sort of equal about it. Even if I do have issues with some of the turtles, I think I mostly feel like, yeah, pretty similarly about all of them. I just chose to put Raphael on this list. He had like the least amount of QC issues as the other ones, and like the articulation I thought was a bit better on this one because I actually heated it up better with this one. I'm glad that it was able to make it in the top 10 list because I really do like this line so far, and I do think this is a good start to the line, and I'm excited for NECA to make more 2012 figures. Next up, we got the Figma Link from Tears of the Kingdom. This is the DX version that comes with a bunch of different accessories from the game, and it's like really good. Like, I think he came with such a good amount of accessories to represent his abilities from the game and like his different weapons from that. And I like the different arms that you could stick on him. For this side right here. This is definitely the best Figma in my collection. I have like maybe 5 Figmas. I have made a video going over this figure, so definitely go check that out if you want to me to go more in depth. And this one is definitely solid. The thing that just keeps him a bit lower is that I still have not fixed that thing that time I broke the thing on the cape thing on the back of him, so that's still kind of bothersome, and I just popped his head off. Yeah, that still doesn't look great, and I do think like he's not as fun as some of the other figures that I'm gonna talk about a bit later. I would have liked him to be a bit higher, but like he is still very good. I think it's a really good release from Figma. It's a really good Link. I'm happy with this Link. This Link is really good. This is one of 2 big figures that actually made it onto this list, and it is the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Venom. I originally said no because I hadn't played the game, and I usually try not to buy too many things from media that I have not either watched or played myself. So I was just like, well, the Venom looks cool. It is a bit pricey, and I'm like, I really shouldn't get it if I haven't played Spider-Man 2. But then I saw pictures of it and people posting about it online, and I was like, oh, it's a really good looking Venom though. I asked for it as a birthday gift from one of my family members, and they got it for me. And yeah, this Venom is really good. Bro, toe joints, that's really cool. And it just like, I love the scale of it. This is like, I think like 13 inches or like something like that. So not 19 inches, unfortunately. This Venom is still really good, and I think it does a good job at capturing the look of it from the game that I have not played. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I like it a lot, and it's like definitely the best Venom in my collection right now. So very good, very solid. And yeah, it's just Venom. You probably saw this guy back there earlier, but the next one here is another Marvel Legends, another big boy. We got the Marvel Legends Hasbro Pulse exclusive Dragon Man. I originally wasn't sure if I wanted to put this figure on this list because it wasn't a wide release figure. It shouldn't be fair to put him on the list at all because it's like not everyone's gonna have him. But when I played around with him more, I was just like, no, I like this figure so much. I can't not put him on the list. So here he is. It's Dragon Man. I was so worried that I was not gonna get this because I actually had canceled my pre-order at one point because I was just like running low on money. I was just like, I don't think I'll be able to pay for it when it comes out. But then they put it back up, I guess. Maybe other people had canceled their pre-order, so they had some like left. But I was able to buy him again. That time I did have more money. And yes, this Dragon Man, I'm so glad I was able to get him. He looks amazing. Like, I love the detail on him. Like, you can open his jaw. You got a bendy wire tail. You got two different sets of wings, one open and one closed like this. And oh my god, it's just such a good job at capturing the look of the comic character. And like, I love Fantastic Four, so the more Fantastic Four stuff in my collection, the better. It's just such a good figure, and like, man, I'm so glad that they made this Dragon Man. It is incredible. Number 6, we got the InArt Batman. This is like from like not a newer company, because I believe InArt have been making like 1/6 scale figures, but I guess they stepped into the game of like 1/12 scale, and they made this really cool Dark Knight Batman from the Dark Knight Rises. And originally I wasn't gonna get it. I didn't even know it was official at the time, but then I found out it was official, and then I saw closer looks at it from people online, and I was just like, that looks really good. So when I got the chance, I decided to get him. I didn't get the version with a Christian Bale head, which I'm kind of regretting, but this looks really cool. Like, the detail on him is hard to tell on camera because my camera sucks, but like, bro, it's like so cool. It's just so great to have like a Nolan Batman. It's just incredible. I wish there was a bendy wire cape. I believe they're selling a new cape that's bendy wire for like a really low price actually, so that's great. I'll have to get that eventually. I'm excited for whatever they make in the future. I'm hoping they make other Nolan characters like the Bane and the Joker. If they're as good as this Batman, then we're in for some real treats. Number 5, we have the Jada Toys Shaggy from their recent Scooby-Doo line. When I saw that they were making Scooby-Doo figures, I was just like, that is amazing. I love Scooby-Doo, so to have something of like this really good quality for Scooby-Doo characters is amazing. All I got was the Shaggy. I haven't gotten the Creeper or the Mummy yet, but man, this Shaggy looks cool. Like, it looks like it jumps straight out of the cartoon. Like, I love the cartoony design of it, and like the articulation feels really good on the arms and the legs. He also comes with a box of Scooby snacks and a Scooby snack for him to hold, and like, look at that, it just captures the look of Shaggy so well, and it is amazing. I am so excited to get the villains, and yeah, this Shaggy is just incredible, man. Like zoinks. Like, look at that, zoinks. We have the Storm Arena Ken at number 4. And Storm Arena, I believe they're from Storm Collectibles, who had made 1/12 figures, but they were like very like highly priced. This time they're going into the more like a market of the $24 to $30 action figures, and one of their first lines that they're doing it with is Street Fighter, specifically Street Fighter Alpha 3. As a new Street Fighter fan, I'm like, yeah, I like Ken, and so this figure looks incredible. It doesn't really feel stiff, and like, you get some incredible range of movement. Like, bro, look at that high kick. Look at that high kick. It's incredible. And it actually doesn't look that great on camera, I'm realizing, but like trust me, it feels great. Like, he could do like an almost perfect splits. The colors on him and like the shadows on his clothes is really cool. The face sculpt is fantastic. Like, I think it's just one of the figures that I've had the most fun with, and it makes me want to play Street Fighter games, not gonna lie. So yeah, this Storm Arena Ken is awesome. At number 3, we have the SH Figuarts Gon from Hunter x Hunter. I found him at a Barnes & Noble when they were having a sale, and he was one of the things that was on sale, so that was really cool. I just love like playing around with this figure a lot and like putting him in different poses, and I love the set of accessories he has, and he genuinely feels really good. He looks really good. I haven't finished Hunter x Hunter, but I like what I've seen so far, and I think like this is a good job at capturing the look from the series, and I definitely want to get Killua soon so he can have his buddy. But yeah, this Gon impressed me a lot. I like it, and it makes me really excited to see what the rest of the Hunter x Hunter line from SH Figuarts is gonna look. So yeah, Gon is great. At number 2, we have the SH Figuarts Peter B. Parker from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Got it like on Christmas, actually. It was a Christmas gift from a family member. And I'm so glad I got him because I really wanted to get this figure. It looked incredible, but he was just way too pricey for me to pre-order at the time. I was just like, I cannot get that right now. I need to save money, but someone else paid the money for me, so that's great. And I absolutely love the way it looks. Like, he's in dad mode right now, but he comes with pieces, so you could also have him just be like a regular Spider-Man. And look at that. The face sculpt is great. I love this like puffy pink fluffy robe, and Mayday is adorable. My one complaint is that sometimes the limbs on Mayday can fall off easily, but like other than that, I do think this figure does a good job of capturing the look of the character from the movie, and I just love the two modes that you can put him in, dad mode or Spider-Man mode, and he just ends up being really fun. I mean, look at that. What other action figure can you have this? And at number 1, it is the Mafex Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man from No Way Home, also known as Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. To have the Raimi Spider-Man as an action figure is really good, especially one as good as this. Like, I did not get to, I unfortunately missed out on the SH Figure Arts version of this, so I was so excited when Mafex said they were going to do them, and it is fantastic. Like, it was like the first like action figure purchase. It wasn't my first action figure purchase of the year, but it was the first one that made me go, wow, this is really cool. Like, I had so much fun getting him out of the box and playing with him that it took me like a while to like make a short on him. So because I just had so much fun just playing with him that I was just like, I don't want to waste time recording stuff. I just want to keep playing with him. But like, I love the face sculpt on him. It's kind of hard to see because my camera is bad, but the face sculpt on him I think is really good. It looks just like Tobey Maguire. This figure is so much fun, like some incredible articulation, and it just captures the vibe of Raimi Spider-Man so much. Like, I'll admit, sometimes I forget why I'm into this hobby. I'm like, I'll buy an action figure and I think it's alright, but it won't really make me like that happy. I'll think like, maybe not at the moment when I first get it, I'll just think, yeah, that's pretty cool, I'm glad I have this. I'll put it on the shelf, or I'll put it next to like a display, but then I'll get something like this and I'll think, wow, this is so much fun. I really love collecting and I really love getting figures like this, and yeah, it just makes me really, really happy, and this figure, it just brings me a lot of joy. So yeah, the Mafex Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is great, and it is my favorite figure of 2025. Now, onto something that I haven't posted on any social media prior to this. It is my top 10 TV shows of 2025. At number 10, we have The Studio. It is a show about Seth Rogen, not him, but like a character he plays, is now the new head of a film studio, and it's just trying to like have the studio still make quality films, but ultimately they're still boggled down by the various corporate decisions and some behind the scenes troubles of their various projects and some stuff from their personal lives, him and the other people that he works with. And overall, I think it's a very fun series. It's really funny. I laughed quite a bit throughout the show, and I like a lot of the performances, especially all the various celebrities that get to appear in the show, often playing themselves. I will say though, some part of it feels like a little bit kind of weird that Seth Rogen himself is making a show about that kind of critiques the business side of Hollywood. Remember one episode had a joke about the Mario movie and talking about, oh man, wasn't that dumb? But like, Seth Rogen, you were in the Mario movie. You were Donkey Kong. But like, it doesn't bother me too much. I like the little subplot about making a Kool-Aid movie, mainly because it eventually leads to Ice Cube saying, "Fuck yeah!" So with Ice Cube saying that, it also means that Superfly said, "Fuck yeah!" And you know me, I love Superfly. I love Ice Cube as Superfly, so yeah, I think that makes it one of the best shows of the year. At number 9, it is Fiona and Cake Season 2. And while I'll admit, I do think it started off not that great. Like, it started off fine, but I wasn't really in love with it. The more it went on and the more I really thought about it, the more I grew to really like a lot of this series. Like, I personally kind of grew to love the slice of lifestyle storytelling with the Fiona side of the show. And then eventually when the Huntress stuff came in, I thought that was also really interesting. Seeing just how far she's willing to go to help save Finn and just like the various troubles that get in her way from that. And I think there is some really great visuals in the show and some really good callbacks to Adventure Time. There's a lot of good stuff in the season that I really enjoy. The arc of Huntress I think is really solid, learning to be more open about her emotions. I will say, however, that I don't think it's perfect. Like, I don't think it's as exciting as I think the first season of Fiona and Cake was. I think with this one, it took me a while to get really invested. Like, early on, I was just like, this is fine, but they're not really as exciting. But I do think I can see myself liking it more the more I rewatch it. And yeah, I think Season 2, while it has its flaws, it is really good, and it has that Adventure Time goodness that I've grown to really like as time goes on. And I really hope this gets a third season. I don't know how likely that is because HBO Max is being HBO Max right now, but hey, fingers crossed we get a third season. So this year was a really big year for cartoon revivals. Panty and Stocking came back with new Panty and Stocking, new season of Gumball called The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. There was another season of the Futurama revival, and I've enjoyed what I've seen of that as well. But if I had to pick a favorite one from this year, I think it would absolutely have to be season 14 of King of the Hill. I actually finished the original King of the Hill for the first time this past year, and it is now one of my new favorite shows of all time. So when season 14 came out, I was really excited. I definitely think the first few episodes were just kind of alright, but as it went on, I grew to really like it. There's like a time jump, so like now the characters are older, and it's really good to see the dynamic between Bobby and Hank now that they're older, and we see like there is obviously a little bit of difference. Like Bobby's more mature now, and Hank is a little bit more open-minded than he used to be back then, but like they still kind of clash on some things every now and then, and just seeing that dynamic continue, but like now with a bit of a different tone to it now that they're both older, I think it's just really, really good. And this season is also really funny. This new season definitely captures that heart of the original, and it's just great to see these characters again in new situations. And there's also one episode where some guy tries to dap up Hank and he has no idea what's going on, and I think that's funny. At number 7, it is Adolescence on Netflix, a limited series that ran for 4 episodes and is about this investigation on this kid who was suspected to kill one of his classmates, a 13-year-old girl. And every episode is essentially following a different aspect of this investigation. We learn more about how like the recent age of social media and the radicalization of men online has influenced the youth, and like just the negative effects that can come from that, from like these young boys learning the very wrong messages. And honestly, as time goes on, this is definitely like a really important discussion to be having. Another really cool thing about this show is the filmmaking behind it. Like every episode is done in one take, and it keeps things like so engaging. Like in the first episode, it really helps keep like the energy of everything that's happening feel like so hectic. Like you're like so confused, like wait, what's happening? And then like later on in the show, when things get more slower and it is just a conversation piece, you're just seeing like everything flow like so naturally, and you're just like following this conversation. I just think it's like so cool. This is a really fascinating show, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's on Netflix, so yeah, I recommend it. At number 6, we got Hacks season 4. I don't think it's as strong as season 3, but I do still think it's very solid. It continues from a cliffhanger from the previous season, which I don't want to say because I do think you should check out the show. You see the characters working together professionally, like this is the closest they've worked together professionally, but it's the farthest they've like been with each other emotionally. And it's just interesting seeing like how that develops from the start, seeing like them trying to work with each other even though right now they can't stand each other. And then eventually as the season goes on, we see that connection start to grow back again, and then we see just like how there's still a little bit of trouble, mainly because of the format of now being in a late night talk show dynamic between these two characters. That's what makes this show work so well. I don't want to say too much because I don't really want to spoil the show, but season 4 is really solid. I'm excited for season 5, which is supposed to be the final season, especially like after how they left things off at this season. So yeah, I'm excited to see one more season with Ava and Deborah, and this season, season 4, was also a very solid one. At number 5, it is Dandadan season 2. Dandadan is one of the very few animes where I actually read the manga prior to actually seeing the anime series. I think it is just a fun sci-fi paranormal series. I think that first season was really solid. I like it a lot. Great opening. And this second season I think is even better. We get to see more of the main cast together now that Gigi is now officially part of our main crew, and then we get to see some other fun characters from the manga. Of course, the show still has phenomenal animation, just some great sequences. So yeah, this season does a good job at continuing that fun energy of like the first season. I just really love seeing like these characters and all the really crazy weird sci-fi stuff that happens to them. And I'm really excited for season 3 because they're going to be adapting, I think they're going to be adapting my favorite arc from the manga. So that's going to be exciting to see, especially seeing it animated. It's just going to be phenomenal. But yeah, I just Dandadan is just like a series and like set of world and characters I've just been obsessed with for a while now. It's just really good. Go read the manga, go watch the anime. Season 2 is an absolute banger too. I can't wait for season 3. It's just great. At number 4, we have Invincible season 3. Okay, get this out of the way. Yeah, animation has its problems. It's not that good sometimes. Sometimes it's okay, but it really should be better. Hopefully, maybe next few seasons it will get better, but who knows. It continues definitely that like very comic booky vibe of the show, where it still has like a lot of these crazy out there scenarios with time travel and aliens and like people in costumes obviously, but still has that sort of grounded characters where at the end of the day, things still traumatize them, still have to deal with conflicting ideas and problems, especially with like Mark this time around, like having like to take care of his younger brother now. He has a different view of Nolan than what Mark did. He wasn't there to witness a lot of the terrible things Omni-Man did and only knows the good parts of him. We see him trying to like help him and steer him in the right direction, but like you still are a little worried that he might veer off a little bit into that Omni-Man side of thinking, like the original Omni-Man side of thinking. We also got some other good stuff, like we get to see like the relationship between Mark and Eve develop more in this, as now they are officially a romantic couple, and they're pretty nice together. I'd say they're pretty cute together. I just really like how this season very much focused on like giving Mark these new challenges that make him have to change, like that make him have to rethink a lot of what he thought, like change his very black and white mindset. Season 3 of Invincible I just think is really good, and I think it just continues what I like about this show. It's just a really good show, and yeah, I just really want the animation to be better though. At number 3 we got Pluribus. From the creator of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan. The world has been taken over by this alien virus that makes everyone essentially one unit, except for a few select people. One of those people being Carol, who is, as the show says, a very miserable person who is now stuck in a world where everyone is happy. The hive mind people themselves, like you would think that this would be like an invasion of the body snatchers type of thing, where they were inherently evil, trying to control everything, but they actually seem pretty nice. There might be more to them that they're hiding, but right now it seems like they're generally good and are making the world almost like somewhat better in a way. But at the same time, you do think like Carol, where yeah, it may look better, but there's got to be something more sinister to it, and it can't be good that everyone is thinking in this one mindset. Carol is a really good protagonist, where she is like a very miserable person, but you understand a lot of why she is the way she is, especially in the situation that she is now, but you also kind of don't want her to do some of the things that she is doing. I thought this show has like a really interesting premise, and it is exploring it in like such an interesting way that I'm just like so excited to see where it goes from here. Pluribus is just really solid. Go watch it. It is, why am I doing this? At number 2, we got Long Story Short, a new series by Raphael Bob Waxberg, the creator of BoJack Horseman. It's essentially a family sitcom, but told throughout different times in the family's life. So one episode will take place when they're kids, the next episode will take place when they're adults, and it will just jump through these different points in their life in different eras. And it's just honestly really, really interesting. Kind of want to see how everything connects. Like you're given different pieces of a puzzle that in your mind you're trying to put together to get the grander picture of it all. And it's honestly really interesting seeing like how this family changes throughout these different eras, and then you want to rewatch the show to pick up on different things that you hadn't before, and you think like, oh hey, that kind of is like connected to like what is later established in the show here, or like it's just really interesting. And I like the main family a lot in it too, seeing like just like how they get along, but also how they kind of like let each other down a lot. The main dynamics between the kids and their mother, Naomi, you could tell she does love her kids, but definitely a lot of her own faults and her sometimes selfish acts affected them growing up and affected how they are as adults. And I also think it's really interesting how the show explored like these characters' Jewish identity. Some of them feel connected to their Jewish culture, but others like don't. Raphael Bob Waxberg has said in interviews that this is something that he really wanted to explore with the show, just the Jewish identity for these characters. And I think it was explored very well. So yeah, Long Story Short, I think is a really funny series. It has heart in it, and it also just does a really good job exploring like the very messy, complicated nature of like family dynamics between like parents and siblings. And I'm just excited to see more of these characters, and also more of like this format of storytelling, which I think really got me hooked into this show. Hope it gets like at the least as many seasons as BoJack did. I want this to get as many seasons as the people making the show wanted to get. So yeah, watch Long Story Short, it is great. And at number 1, I have Common Side Effects from Adult Swim. It's about this guy who has this like sort of miracle mushroom that can cure anything and can even bring someone from the dead. At the same time, it does seem to have some side effects when you take it, where people start hallucinating weird things. Yeah, it is essentially like a conspiracy thriller that's like about like this mushroom and people just trying to get it and trying to use it. And it also comments a lot on like the world of big pharma and like these drug companies that want to make profit rather than actually help people. And it has some amazing visuals. A lot of people are put off by the art style, and I'll admit I was too. But like the more I watched it, the more I just kind of like liked it. Like a charm to like how weird these designs are, but they take the story so seriously that you just kind of like vibe with it. You just gotta go like, yeah, that's just how these people look. And then when you get to the visuals that are the people having those hallucinations, it is genuinely really amazing. Like just the crazy visuals and very well animated. Like if you want to see adult animation do different stuff, then look for shows like this. Look for Common Side Effects. This show, it is what people have been wanting from adult animation for a long time now. Go ahead, trust me, it is just so good. Now on to the last thing, my top 10 movies of 2025. Number 10 is The Naked Gun, directed by Akiva Schaffer. It is the reboot revival of the Naked Gun series, starring Leslie Nielsen, who unfortunately passed away before the making of this film. So now we have Liam Neeson playing Frank Drebin Jr. And this movie was so much fun. If you've been wanting another fun, dumb spoof comedy film in theaters, this is what you should have seen. It is hilarious. I absolutely laughed so much throughout the film. Also, like, I don't know, I could be overthinking it, but I also kind of saw it be a little bit of like a commentary on like the state of comedy films, where like you have like the main villain who thinks that things are not as good as they used to be, which is kind of like how a lot of people have nowadays. Like, people say like, oh man, people like are so like woke and that it ruins good comedy, and then you have the main villain here who thinks that people care too much about like trying to be culturally sensitive and everything, that like it's ruined the state of everything. So he wants to try to make a new society where people like him can like thrive. And then you have our main character who wants to like try to prove himself to be good but also be a new thing, and it's like just kind of commenting on the state of like, you know, oh, like reboots and like revivals, but also like how maybe that mindset that the villain has is not really a good mindset. And like, I don't know, I could be overthinking it a lot, I'm rambling. That's not even like a big aspect of the film, because most of it is just trying to be a dumb stupid comedy, and it does a good job of being a dumb stupid comedy. It is hilarious. There's so many silly visual gags and like just like funny line deliveries. I will say, I think early on in the movie it's not like super funny. I like chuckled a little bit, but as it goes on it definitely gets super funny, like laugh out loud funny. And yeah, I just had a really fun time. Like I said, I kind of think like that commentary thing in there is sort of in there. It's not like a big aspect of it, but I kind of saw it. I could be overthinking it. If I am, don't tell me, just shut up, just go watch the movie and have fun. Number 9, we got K-pop Demon Hunters. Some of you might think I'm lame for putting this movie on this list, but honestly, when I had to look back on everything I watched, I was just like, yeah, I think this is one of my favorite movies from the year, because like, it's the one that I may have rewatched the most. I think it has a great animation style with some awesome action in it. I like the main trio of characters, and I like that it just gives off the vibe of like an action cartoon that you would have watched as a kid. I like the designs of like the demons and like the main girls, and I think it has some fantastic songs. Like, these songs are real earworms. I even bought the soundtrack recently on CD, and it's just a really fun movie. It has like some genuinely good themes of like older generations trying to tell the younger generations to like kind of hold in emotions or not really express themselves, but really the most positive thing one can do is to be true to themselves. There are some things that I wish got more attention in the film, like some with like the other two members of Huntrix, like the main villain Guima, and also like the mentor character Celine. I will say, I do think this movie is really solid for what it does do, and I'm happy that it did as well as it did. It really shows Sony that they should have had more faith in this film. But K-pop Demon Hunters is not my favorite animated movie with Korean characters that came out in 2025. That would be Lost in Starlight, a South Korean animated film that takes place in this like futuristic city where this woman is trying to achieve her goal of making it out there in this like big project to go to Mars, just like her mother did. However, she's kind of told to stay on ground for a bit until like everything can be finalized. And at the same time, she meets this guy who she starts to slowly fall in love with, and they have a romance and everything, but at the same time, you know, she still is trying to prepare to go to Mars, and it can make some conflict between the two. This movie looks absolutely gorgeous. I just love looking at it so much. And it has a really great soundtrack. Sometimes scenes can come off like AMVs, but like, I still gotta like them. What made this movie really work for me is the main romance between the two. I genuinely love these two's dynamic. They have some really sweet moments together. Like, there's like a part in like the third act where you think it's gonna lead to this big disagreement thing, but it's like kind of easily resolved by the next scene, because they just have that real dynamic where they support each other, and it is honestly just so sweet to watch. Just how I could describe the movie, it's so sweet. You should absolutely go check it out. It's very good. At number 7, we got Sinners, another movie that I did a quick play on, directed by Ryan Coogler. This movie is just really cool. That's the best way to describe the movie. It is really cool. From the amazing music, not just like the songs in it, which are phenomenal, but also the score by Ludwig Göransson is incredible. Performances in this movie are outstanding. Michael B. Jordan does amazing as Smoke and Stack. Like I mentioned in the video like that I did on this movie, that at some point I just assumed there were 2 Michael B. Jordans. That wasn't one guy playing 2 characters. He just has a clone. Jack O'Connell as Remick, the main like vampire guy, is great. Wunmi Mosaku I think is also really fantastic in the film, and I am so sorry if I completely butchered her name. I'm sure that was not correct at all. I hope it was. And of course, Miles Canton as Sammy. standout performance in this film, and it's especially amazing when you consider the fact that this is his first movie and he's like knocking it out of the park so much in this film. And I think, yeah, there's so much about the film that I genuinely really like. I love the filmmaking of it. I like how it goes, how it's like two completely different movies in like the first and second half of the film, but it doesn't feel too jarring. It feels like natural in a sense, and I like both halves of the film. I love what it has to say about embracing, you know, one's culture and how it can bring out like the best in a community. I also like how the vampires themselves are like kind of a metaphor for like conformity and like everyone being unified in one mindset instead of being like expressed individuals. Sinners is a really fantastic film, and other people have talked about it more better than I ever could. So go watch other people talk about this film, or just go watch it yourself because it's great. Number 6, Superman, the James Gunn Superman from 2025. I will admit it is not perfect. It does have its issues, and I do think that it is kind of the weakest of the theatrical James Gunn comic book movies. But even at its weakest, it's still a freaking phenomenal movie. I think David Corenswet is a fantastic Superman. It really feels like the kind of Superman I love to see. Nicholas Hoult is a top tier Lex Luthor. I think one of the best Lex Luthor performances ever. Like, I love all these interpretations of these characters, and they're just fun to watch. It does feel like there's a little bit too much going on, but I kind of don't mind because everything that is going on I really liked. It's the movie that I would call the most fun for me this year. And I don't know, I just like that a lot, I guess. Superman is just really, really cool. At number 5, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors ever, and I was super excited for his take on Frankenstein, and yeah, it is really good. Is it accurate to the book, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? I don't know, I haven't read it. One day I'll read Frankenstein, I do have a copy of it. But like, regardless, Frankenstein itself, this movie is really good. A lot of people have described it as Mexican Gothic horror, and yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like, fellow Hispanic right here, I felt that Mexican influence in this movie. Oscar Isaac as Dr. Frankenstein and Jacob Elordi as the monster are amazing. Like, two of the best performances this year. What the interesting thing about this take about Frankenstein is that he's actually more present in the creature's like life early on. Like, he doesn't just abandon it immediately after it comes to life. He's like there for it. And he's kind of a terrible parent. I can understand the monster's anger in this. Easily like a top tier Frankenstein adaptation. And also, I like that in an interview for this movie, the actor Jacob Elordi and Oscar Isaac talks about how they liked the movie Mutant Mayhem a lot.
What is the last movie that made you laugh?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mutant Mayhem. I think that's what it's called.
So good.
The new animated. Yeah. There's just this bit with the two guys, and he's like, bacon, egg, and cheese with the bear, with the bear.
I just thought that was pretty cool. At number 4, we have Chainsaw Man, the movie Reze arc. You see Denji, of course, and it's like after the events of season 1, and we see this one girl, Reze, start to take interest in him, and it's like something very odd because she seems like a relatively normal person, other than the fact that she is into Denji. A sort of romance growing between the two, and I can't really say what happens afterwards because I don't want to spoil it, so it's hard. I really want to talk about this movie, but I don't want to spoil anything. And it just explores what I think the core part of the story of Chainsaw Man is. It's just this guy right here, Denji, and how you really just want him to be happy, but so much in his life is causing him to like all this pain, yet he still is trying to find some things in life to aspire to, and then all this other stuff is just kind of getting in the way because of his ability to become Chainsaw Man. Everyone wants that side of him, but it seems like very little people actually want him for him. And that's what the core of this story explores. And I think this movie does a really good job at adapting that arc and telling this story. And it has some amazing visuals in this. And watching this movie really cemented that I feel, from what I've read so far, I think Reze arc is my favorite arc in Chainsaw Man. This movie did a good job at adapting that arc, and I guess Chainsaw Man is my favorite animated movie of the year, I suppose. It's peak, man. It's peak. Number 3, Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Third installment in the Knives Out franchise. I was engaged in this mystery. I love the cinematography in this. There are some really well done shots in this and some amazing performances. Josh O'Connor, he has such a great leading performance in this film. I think what I find the most interesting about this movie is just the way it explores religion. We see like a character like Judd, who is like a Catholic priest, like I said before, who genuinely sees the good in religion. He thinks it helped his life and just wants to spread that positive message. But then we see just like how these other people use religion and like how they act very cultish and ostracize Judd for how he thinks. And also, I think the mystery itself is really interesting. It's the one that is the most of a traditional whodunit than the other two movies. The twist is just like how much the main character actually knows. Like, he's withholding information from our detective. And that is something that surprised me, but I think really does work for this movie. Every Knives Out film is great, but this one is just like, I just have not stopped thinking about just like how it explores its theme, and it's just really fascinating to me, like all of it. My second favorite film of 2025, Marty Supreme. This movie was incredible. It felt like getting my cock sucked by a vacuum cleaner. You'll only get that joke if you've seen the film. Marty Mauser, and he is a competitive table tennis player. So not ping pong, it's ping pong. He just wants to become big in the world of table tennis, so he like tries to make enough money to go to these world competitions. But however, due to often his own misfortune and poor decisions, he gets caught up in a lot of trouble, like owing money to a lot of other different people, and often acting like just like a big jerk to like people who genuinely want to help him, but then he kind of keeps pushing them aside or taking advantage of their help. And the whole film just feels so hectic with just like all the problems and trouble that he gets into. It's a drama film, but it's also, I guess, what you would call a comedy of errors. Would that be the right usage of this? Where you just see just all the trouble and all the problems that he gets into by his own ego. And often, even when he does find success, he ends up kind of causing his own downfall by trying to go a little bit more, taking more than he could actually get, and then that's what causes him to get into even more trouble and then lose whatever success he did get. You kind of at some point do kind of want to see him succeed, but as the film goes on, you think, no, this guy kind of deserves everything that he's getting right now. He sucks, he's like a jerk, and then by the end, while you still kind of hate him, you still want him to get at least something to succeed. Maybe not succeed entirely, but like at least one win. I think that's how a story like this can work. It's not like something like, why is it the only example I can think of? Shark Tale, where the character is unlikable and he does all these things and it causes him success and his downfall, but like also he still eventually kind of wins at the end. Yeah, Marty, I just think is a really interesting protagonist to follow, with just how kind of sucky he is and how much of his own downfall he ends up creating in this method to try to get success. But now onto what my favorite movie of the year is, and that would be One Battle After Another. There is so much about it that I really like. All the performances are great, from Leonardo DiCaprio as this once revolutionary who's now become kind of like a lame dad, and like constantly gets himself into trouble because like he's like trying to save his daughter, but at the same time he's drunk and kind of incompetent to actually do things. You have Chase Infinity as Willa, his daughter, is now stuck in this trouble, and then you see her get kidnapped, but also try to find a way to outsmart her, like the people chasing her, and then get a hit every now and then. And she's like really good in this, like a really good young actress. Sean Penn in this film, really good antagonist. He is incredibly intimidating and also incredibly pathetic. He's so lame for wanting to be part of this like white supremacist club that's called the Christmas Adventurers. At the same time, he's like this guy who like you see is willing to do anything to procure his spot in that club. And also, white supremacy is bad. You know, don't be a white supremacist, audience watching this movie. One Battle After Another, I think, is like the movie that really impressed me the most this year. I was going in not knowing at all what it's going to be about. I left the theater going like, wow, that was legit incredible. It might be one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. That was my top 10 things from the year 2025. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it does well. And if not, I will be very bummed out and I will cry.